Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we look at the latest comics and other media featuring the Transformers. In this episode, with Darryl away, the Joes will play as we review Skybound's G.I. Joe number 5 from the Energon Universe. Today is Friday, March 28th, 2025, and this is episode 435 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that has built-in plot armor. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going?
And Scott, the illustrious Dr. Pants.
Does the plot armor apply to all of us or just the main hosts? I need to know for insurance purposes. Let's talk Transformers.
All right, as always, we start the show by thanking our Donatrions, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for contributing and keeping the show going. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to become a Donatron, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support, and that's where you can sign up. And you get lots of perks and bonuses, including bonus content like We Like Big Bots, our bonus show that features Darryl and Dr. Pants talking about the biggest bots in their collection. And Dr. Pants has promised more episodes in 2025 in the summer. So
that's what people voted for, right? More Big Bots episodes. Is that on the ballot for 2025?
I wish that's what they voted for.
That'd be one thing to unite everybody.
To light this darkest hour.
Yeah.
Something like that.
All right. Of course, we also have our Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. And that is has our bonus uncut version of episode 132. 20,000 Leagues Under the Track. So the bonus version came out this week, so that's available for Donatrons. Everyone, all our Donatrons have access to that early bonus uncut version. Then the regular version of episode 132 is coming out this Monday, March 31st, and that will be at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So everyone will get a chance to listen to it, the final version. We still got copies of our Transformers number 1 from Skybound with our cover art by EJ Sue. So you can pick that up at our website, transmissionspodcast.com/comic. And then, of course, we've got our Toy Hacks promo code. That code is playback, and you'll get 15% off all your purchases at toyhacks.com. That promo code is only good till the end of March, so you've only got a couple more days to use it before the code switches over. And we'll announce the April code in the next episode of Transmissions. So stay tuned for that next week. Lastly, we've got just an announcement from one of our Donatrons, who is also a comic artist, Nathan Webb. And they have a fan comic called Britformers that's been going on for several years now. And issue 4 is being kickstarted. So you can check out their Kickstarter page. We'll have a link to it in the show notes. And if you want to pick up a copy of the Britformers issue, you can get issue 4. You can also get digital copies of issues 1 through 3 if you missed those. So you can pick that up at that by packing that Kickstarter. And they've already passed a bunch of their stretch goals, just to get the comic printed and distributed out. So take a look at that and enjoy. All right, let's get into the show. We're going to start off with some comics news. All right, in comics news, we've got another announcement from Skybound. They've done a lot of printings of their Energon Universe issues, Transformers number 1 and Void Rivals number 1. Now we've got something completely different, a new reprint with audio effects. So there's going to be a sound chip included in these new versions of Transformers number 1 and Void Rivals number 1, and they will make the transforming sound when you open the issue. So there will be 3 variants of these. The first two are for Transformers number 1. You've got an Optimus Prime Autobot variant and a Starscream Decepticon variant for Transformers number 1. Then you've got a Jetfire Autobot variant for Void Rivals number 1. So all three of these will have different sound chips with different transforming sounds in them. So, these are coming fall of this year. So I guess like September 2025. So I think they will probably be up for a pre-order soon, or you can ask for them at your local comic shop.
This is getting to be ridiculous. Well, it's way past ridiculous. I commented on, I think it was Ben Yee posted on Facebook, and I was like, surely now Transformers number 1 has had more reprints, like reprinted editions, than Action Comics number 1.
I was gonna say, has there ever been an issue number 1 reprinted this much in such a short amount of time?
Yeah.
I will say, I did ask my local comic shop when I went in to pick up my newest issue of Transformers. I was just curious. I'm like, how's Transformers selling here? And they said it was their number 1 selling book.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, they said that Transformers for them is selling more than any Batman book or X-Men book currently.
Wow.
And then when I said, oh, even Spider-Man, they laughed at me because apparently Spider-Man's doing garbage right now. But so
okay.
Yeah, that's, I mean, it's great. And, I'm probably going to be a sucker and get in on one of these just because I've never seen a sound chip in a comic before. But
we're all suckers here, Jeremy. You're in good company. I'm probably getting all three of these.
I don't know what to say. I'm just kind of blown away. When you told me before we recorded the episode that this was a thing, it's just, and yet I want one. Damn it. They got my number. They know exactly what I want.
The question is, what's going to happen with the battery in that sound chip, 5-10 years down the line?
What about getting it graded?
Yeah. I'm just thinking battery goes bad, starts corroding. If it's graded, at least it's in the plastic thing. But if it's not,
but I don't. This is so weird.
In the chat, Alex says he thought he saw they were going for $20 each. So that's a lot.
We get all three?
Oh boy, I don't know. That's hard.
I've already got like three copies of number 1. Do I need another one that talks to me? Yes.
It doesn't talk. It says, that's what it says to you.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like it makes noises at me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So another day, another reprint for Skybound, but yeah, they're getting. The next will be the Skybound reprint comic that like is a robot butler that does everything for you.
Well, I mean, you remember IDW did those motion comics back in the day. What if it's like for like $500, they'll sell you an Android tablet that's just the comic with voices and stuff. I
can't do anything else. All it can do is show the comic.
Just one comic.
I'll just do my own version of the comic in motion with voices. Blackjack and hookers.
All right. Well, let's get into our comic review. All right. So, unfortunately, no Transformers comic this week, but what we do have is G.I. Joe, part of the Energon Universe.
Yay!
So this is we're doing a full spoiler review of G.I. Joe number 5. So if you haven't picked it up yet, pick it up. You should have picked it up already because it's already almost over a week old at this point when you're watching this. So It's your own fault if you didn't read it yet. But if you don't care about spoilers, then just listen to the review and enjoy. All right, G.I. Joe number 5, writer Joshua Williamson, artist Tom Riley, colorist Jordi Belair, letterer Russ Wooten, editor Ben Abernathy, publication design Andres Juarez, production Ashby Florence. So let's get into the summary, and then we're going to talk about it. We pick up from the end of issue number 4. Duke's team has been captured and is at the mercy of Cobra. Destro's henchman Mercer comes to gloat since he has Duke right where he wants him. Duke tells Mercer they should just kill him and his team now before they kill him. Baroness, one of his team members, thinks Duke has gone crazy. Mercer just tells them that they're not going to kill them because they've got big plans for Duke and his team. But first, Mercer brings Duke to meet his old antagonist, Destro. Duke tells Destro he won't talk, so Destro orders Mercer to give Duke a savage beating. After several blows, Duke is covered in his own blood on the floor, but Duke is unbroken. He just asks if that's the best they got. Destro is impressed, but he thinks there's a better way to get to Duke through his team. Destro grabs the Baroness by the hair and tells Duke they'll torture her to see what they can get when she reaches her breaking point. But Baroness is defiant as well. Destro is impressed, but Chameleon would like to have a crack at her too. But Destro just wants to know the answer to one question. How did Duke's team know their next targets? They had tactical support at both the brainwave scanner and Dr. Monev's locations. On the floor, Duke just starts laughing. He tells Destro he just gave the game away because Duke knows something he doesn't. Then Duke just says, "Clutch, hit it." Destro has a moment of confusion before a Hiss tank revs to life and starts firing on the Cobra soldiers. Clutch, who managed to stay undercover all this time, reveals himself and turns the laser blast back on Cobra. Destro is enraged and orders his soldiers to return fire, but they're pinned down. Duke and his team escape to find cover while Clutch provides an awesome surprise attack, mowing down a bunch of Cobra troops. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the facility, Cobra Commander supervises Dr. Monev as he puts the final touches on his brainwave scanner. He's using the Energon power source to turn it into a brainwave bomb, and when it's detonated, everyone within a 5-mile radius will be immediately brainwashed and become loyal to Cobra. But there's a problem. Everyone within the closer 1-mile radius will have their minds completely erased. Cobra Commander doesn't see a problem with this and just orders Dr. Monev to get back to work. Back in the battle, Scrap Iron has brought his bazooka to even the odds. He's a little sad that he has to fire on their own Hiss tank, but he opens fire. Clutch has a moment to escape before the Hiss tank is blown apart. With the Joe's advantage gone, Destro orders his Cobra troops to press their attack and leave no one alive. Clutch pulls himself out of the tank wreckage to reunite with Duke and his teammates. He helps free them all from their handcuffs while they crouch behind some tank treads for cover. They're trapped, unarmed, with Cobra between them and the only exit from the room. Duke's plan is simple. Bum rush the Cobra troops and take their weapons as they engage the first wave. Baroness points out that it's a suicide mission, and Duke just answers that if it's time to die, he's glad to die with his team. They all put their hands in, and Duke says for rock and roll. And there's just one thing left to say. Yo, Joe! Destro can't believe it, but the Joes attack head on. They somehow avoid any serious gunshot or stabbing wounds while they take out all the Cobra soldiers in front of them. Then Duke gets a grenade and throws it at Destro's head. Destro is blown through a wall, and the Joes gain the momentum to make their escape. They get to an unattended helicopter on a helipad and get everyone aboard. As the chopper takes off, Destro watches in impotent rage. He runs to another helicopter and takes off in pursuit. Baroness, flying the Joe's helicopter, notices they're being tailed, but then she also notices Duke isn't on the chopper with them. Back at the brainwave scanner/bomb, Dr. Monev admires his work. When the bomb detonates in Washington, D.C., it will pave the way for Cobra to take over the United States and change the world forever. Finally, Dr. Monev notices the shooting has stopped. Cobra Commander tells him to prepare the brainwave bomb for transport. But Dr. Monev reminds him that Destro was supposed to bring them a test subject. Cobra Commander agrees that they need to test it and roughly shoves Dr. Monev into the device. Dr. Monev only has a moment to object before Cobra Commander turns it on. Dr. Monev starts screaming in agony as the brainwave scanner does its work. Then Destro contacts Cobra Commander on his communicator to update him on the situation. Cobra Commander tells them they need a transport team for the brainwave bomb, but Destro tells them they've got bigger problems. The Joes have escaped, and it's only a matter of time before reinforcements arrive. They have to evacuate. Cobra Commander says fine, he'll do the transport himself, and cuts the communication. Then behind him, Cobra Commander hears the click of a gun cocking. Duke has found him and has a pistol aimed at his head. To be continued. So this was I thought this was a really fast-paced, high-action issue. I really liked it. I really liked the reveal of Clutch doing the sneak attack. I thought that was really well done. Even though I knew he was there undercover, I didn't expect that, and felt like also Duke admitting that he also didn't expect it either. He was just guessing. It was a nice little touch there. I also like the kind of just nod to the fans showing Destro's interaction with Baroness, because of course in every other continuity, Destro and Baroness are an item, and here they're on opposite sides, and Destro is apparently like Chameleon and Destro are a thing here. So you've got that
he did give Baroness a look.
Yeah.
Is that one panel?
Yep. That's true. That's true. So, shadows of things to come, I guess. But yeah, I really liked this issue. I think the whole stuff with Dr. Monev and Cobra Commander, of course, betraying Dr. Monev and shoving him into the brainwave scanner, because everyone is just a tool to him. So I like that, that characterization continues. One thing I did not like, and it's, I mean, you can shrug it off, but okay, I know they're the main characters, but just having them like rush all the guys with guns and not get hurt at all, it's like that was like extreme plot armor. That was like, like masterpiece plot armor here. Like they should have been a little bit of tactics or something.
I mean, Mercer also had it. He was, when Clutch was firing, he was getting hit, and it was blowing away some of the Cobra troops.
That's true. He got winged in the arm or something. Just there. Yeah.
Any named character gets plot armor.
Except for rock and roll.
His plot armor failed. I mean, I just think, I would have liked them to, like, with Mercer, at least he's diving behind something to like get out of the path of the blast. They're just like, we're going to just rush the first wave and, hope no one gets shot. And then we'll get the first wave guns, and then we'll keep going. It just seemed like there could have been another way to do this that seemed a little bit less ridiculous. I don't know. I like, in the chat, Alex says yelling "Yo Joe" activates the plot armor. So there you go. But yeah, overall, the artwork I thought was great, and yeah, it was a good issue. All right, Dr. Pants, you have not been up to date on G.I. Joe, so I gave you all 5 issues at once to kind of binge read. So if you want to give your overall opinions of the series so far, and then this issue in particular, let's hear them.
Thank you for giving me all 5 issues. I did a nice little binge read earlier today, so I was up to snuff on this. And I gotta say, I was a G.I. Joe fan when I was a kid, as in the toys were cool and the cartoon was lovely. I don't know, noise for me to have on the TV, but I don't remember many of the characters aside from, the big ones like Duke and Destro and Cobra Commander and Baroness. And honestly, I think that plays well into this, because I don't know who a lot of these characters are, and I don't know what to expect from them because of it, which is kind of nice. I think the only thing is I'm like, well, Baroness is supposed to be a bad guy, so is the mind bomb going to mess with her and make her evil, or is it going to be something else? The whole series has been a lot of fun. This has been like a great kind of action movie plot going on here. And it seems, a little cliche at times and whatnot, but man, oh man, was it a fun ride. And I really enjoyed it. And all culminating in this issue, because I'm sitting there and I'm wondering what's going to happen with Clutch, because there's that scene in issue 3 or 4 where Cobra Commander says, "Oh, I can tell there's somebody in here giving away information," and it's like, "Oh, Rose, you know about Clutch?" And nope. And there's all kinds of cool moments, but this issue in particular, like a nice, not resolution, but it's like everything's coming to a head that's been going on since issue 1. And it was really great. And it was bloody and violent and exciting. And there were twists and turns and all the major players got to have a moment. And it was really great. And man, that moment when Duke's just like clutch hit it, I was like, yay, this is what I've been waiting for.
I mean, it shows trust in his longtime friend. Like if he's there, he's going to be trying to escape. So,
yep. No, it was really good. I will say that I think they've been doing a really good job characterizing all the different characters too. It doesn't feel like they're all gimmicky like they were in the original cartoon, where they had their accessory or their one thing that made them who they were, but they're all kind of unique, and that's been pretty fun. I will say, I think my only complaint is, Charles, I agree with you, where they had the ridiculous plot armor. There's a shot in the book when they are rushing the Cobra troops, and literally Duke has bullets going through both of his shoulders. And the one, I don't know how it's going, but the bullet somehow clears the top of his head and then hits the shoulder behind him, which is lower. And I don't get it. But CoverGirl does get cut pretty hard in that scene.
Yeah.
Only to turn it around and stab a guy, but
it's a flesh wound.
It's just a flesh wound. It's fine. No, this was a lot of fun. I actually really enjoyed reading it. And like I said, not having really a history with this, I didn't know what to expect, because I'm also assuming that Dr. Monev is a character from the earlier series, because
he's Dr. Venom.
He's Dr. Venom, because they mentioned
Monev backwards.
Yeah. Well, they mentioned that in an earlier issue, and I'm like, I should have caught that. The art was good in this too. I like the artwork. I really like. There's a two-tone thing going on in this issue, where it's kind of red and it's kind of blue, which kind of mimics the old series, because knowing is half the battle and the other half is red and blue lasers. And that's kind of what this felt like. And it was just a lot of fun. I don't know what else to say. I kind of want to find out what happens. Like, I kind of want to keep going with this and see where this confrontation between Duke and Cobra Commander comes to. And the last thing I'll say is I really, really love that, Cobra Commander in the 80s was this like comically just kind of inept villain. He was the bad guy who made, he would just, he would get shut down by the heroes and scream, "We'll be back, Joes, Cobra." But this whole series and the Cobra Commander series before this, he's insane, and I love it. I love that he's actually kind of terrifying.
He's competent.
He is competent and he is terrifying, and I really like that, and I want to see what happens here. So, yeah, I really enjoyed this. I didn't enjoy it more than Transformers. But still a fun read.
All right. Jeremy, what are your thoughts?
I also really enjoyed it. A lot of the same points that you guys made in terms of like plot armor. I mean, you say that like Mercer was getting out of the way. Mercer was like getting hit, much like Duke was, like on his shoulders and stuff, and just he's named character, so he's got plot armor. But I don't know.
I mean, I just feel like it feels like the distinction I make is he's not running towards the lasers. That's my only thing.
Yeah,
he's trying to turn away from the lasers.
But the lasers are coming from his tank, so they're more powerful.
All right, that's fair.
So I don't know. But anyway, it was fun. Got a lot of kind of things that had been building up. That you got resolutions, but it's the end of the first arc, and the story's not concluded yet, so we got a lot more to see. But I really like the panel layouts. They did some really fun stuff with the panel layouts here. It just they were not constrained to your typical look of the comic. It was more cinematic, I think, in how they did things. And then there was the big fight with the Joes rushing, where it goes into smaller boxes and stuff, and where you actually see some of the action hit. It just goes to not really black and white. It's more because it's the red and black or something. It just two tones though, like you were saying. It's just kind of like you see in some anime or something where it just gets really stylized for an action move or something. And I thought it worked really well. All the colors, like you get some scenes where it's full color, and then some where it just gets really muted, and it's more. It goes into kind of the spy thriller aspect of kind of what I've been enjoying in the book. So I thought this was really fun, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes and getting more of the lore built out in the whole Energon universe, because now everyone's aware of Energon and its capabilities, at least in terms of destruction and stuff. So it's fun. So yeah, this is great.
All right. So I think that will wrap up our review of G.I. Joe #5, and hopefully Darryl will be back next week so we can torture him with G.I. Joe #6. All right. So that's our review. Let's move on to some media news.
Just one bit in media news, but it is very, very cool. Courtesy of the Sunbow and Marvel Script Storyboard Archive, we have the 1986 character binder for Transformers. 186 pages. This covers Bob Budiansky profiles and Marvel Productions model sheets for basically all of the incoming 1986 toy line, excluding the new mini-bots Swerve, Pipes, Tailgate, Hubcap, and Outback, as well as some 84 and 85 returning characters. We get some very long profile here about Autobot City Metroplex. We get some images here of some of the other robots and whatnot, some sketches. And I love that, of course, we got the old Broadside image from before they had finalized his design, which very, very cool. Just a lot of cool information. And yeah, you can go check that out at the Sunbow Marvel Archive if you're interested in checking all that out. But it's very interesting. Very interesting to look back and see what kind of the profiles were, because I think a lot of stuff in the profiles might not have translated over into what we saw in the cartoon at times. So yeah, check that out.
All right. And we will finish up the show with convention news.
All right. Let me get my page up here. So just one thing in convention news this week, and that is, TFCon Toronto 2023. We're starting to get announcements for that. It's July 11th through 13th, and Alex Milne's going to be there. Being a native Canadian, it makes sense. I think he lives in the greater Toronto area, so good. It'll be good seeing him. And they have here an image of the Skybound Optimus Prime look, and this was from the cover that he did for that comic shop. That's where it's from. Okay, I was like, when did he do a Skybound image? But yeah, I forgot he did those. But he's also done More Than Meets the Eye, Transformers versus Terminator, Transformers versus ROM, Unicron series, just so much stuff. Such good art. So be sure to check him out on his socials for his commissions and stuff. So, yeah, that will be a lot of fun.
Will there be a new hot motor oil book?
That would be a question for Darryl, I would guess. He's got the line to Alex.
You could probably ask Alex directly on social media. He'll probably answer you.
I should, honestly.
All right. Well, that's it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks, everyone, for watching and listening. As always, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. These are the folks who continue to support the podcast at our highest level on Patreon. So that's why we think they get a mention. They should get a mention in every episode, and they do. So thank you once again to John Forrest Levengood and Steve C. You guys are awesome. And Dr. Pants, you're pretty awesome too. So thanks again for hanging out with us. I want you to tell everyone where they can find you online.
No, you're awesome. Thank you so much, as always, for having me. You can find me and my friends at the Nostradamus link that is below my name if you're watching this on YouTube, or is in the show notes if you're listening to this on podcast. Nostradamus on YouTube is our main outlet. We do all kinds of videos, both long and short form. This entire month has been March Madness, where I have been doing mech videos every weekday since the beginning. And if you are listening to this on Friday, if the video is not up, there should be a nice big mecha theme video that I put a lot of love into. It's not Transformers related, but it is mecha related. So if you want to check that out, please do. And or check out the Transformers videos I did earlier in the month. But yeah. Oh, and I forgot. There's going to be a new music video. A new original music video that completes our I Love Robots trilogy we've been doing.
Okay.
So, yeah. Lambo and I filmed some footage for that recently, and he's working on putting that together. So I will make sure to share that with the Transmissions people, and hopefully you can check that out.
All right. Looking forward to it. I missed the second song in the trilogy. Then
it's called Robot Redemption.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check that out.
I got to rap in that one.
Okay.
I don't know if
that's always a dangerous thing for people of our complexion.
Yeah. No, it was fun though.
I'll go easy on you, Dr. Pants.
Thank you. I want to point out I am not the musical one in Nostradamus, and I only listen to Lambo. He tells me what to do. So any complaints can be sent to him.
Fair enough. All right, everyone. That's it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Again, thanks everyone for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, you're muted, Jeremy.
Oops. Sorry.
Maybe I should do that again.
Yeah, let's do it again. Sorry.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. Thanks again for everyone for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool Transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our Transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.